Boys, we are finally here. UFC 308. Topuria versus Max Holloway. Now, we're going through the entire card, starting with the early prelims, ending with that incredible main event. I'm going to give you guys my rare predictions on who I think is going to win and how. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've been flip-flopping on a bunch of these fights because a lot of these fights are, you can't even predict them, to be honest. They're like, you're literally just guessing at certain points. Because let's be realistic, so many fights on this card, I'll tell you when they show up, but so many of them are like pick'ems. But let's start it off, light heavyweight division. I don't know if this is the exact bout order, but this is what the UFC has. Aslan take Raffael, making his UFC debut. He's fairly well-rounded, you know, a good wrestler, good scrambles, has a bunch of first-round finishes. Where Aslan, he's a very aggressive striker with really good pressure, good power, but let's be realistic, this boy has a very questionable gas tank. I also don't think his last few fights are really that great. For someone who is as hyped up as he is, I was not impressed with his last few fights. Raffael, you know, has a bunch of first round finishes, yes, but this boy keeps his hands very low. He also has good wrestling too, so he's fairly well rounded, but I did notice he likes to strike a lot more than just plain out wrestling. Like I said, he keeps his hands low. I think someone's getting knocked out in this fight, and like I said, wasn't impressed with Abo in his last few fights, giving me by a first or second round knockout, to be honest, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets caught with his hands so low. Let's move down, welterweight division. Chimaev taking on Ruziboev. Now, Rinat, he's good, I'll give him that, but he is beatable. He's pretty big and powerful for this division. The only thing is, Ruziboev, if Buckley can take down Ruziboev multiple times over and over and over again, best believe Rinat can as well. And to be honest, I think that's where the fight's gonna be won. I think Rinat's gonna be able to take down Ruziboev multiple times, hold him down there, do some groundwork there. I don't see a submission, I don't see no ground and pound TKO win. I see a simple 29-28 decision. Maybe Ruziboev can get around here, but for the most part, I think Rinat's got this fairly easily decision win. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 30-27. Let's go down that middleweight division. Ismail, Naurdiev taking on Bruno Silva. Now, Ismail, this guy hasn't fought in 4 years, and when he was fighting, he was kind of a decision merchant. Let's be realistic. Go look at his last few fights. He's fairly well-rounded, but I would say he's majority a striker, but this boy, again, some questionable gas tanks. Where Bruno Silva, he can be sloppy here and there. I think out of the two guys, he has a better fight IQ, but it's not a good look if you're losing to Chris Weidman, regardless of the eye pokes or not. And to be honest, this is such a 50-50 type of fight. Do I go with the guy who lost to Chris Weidman, or do I go with the guy who hasn't fought in 4 years? I'm going to go with Bruno Silva, to be honest. I think the 4 years off is going to show a lot of holes and show a lot of ring rust. And I think Bruno Silva might even get a KO win here, to be honest. People are sleeping on Bruno Silva. They forget that this guy does have some power in his hands. And he stood up and fought Alex Bird and didn't get knocked out by that. But, you know, GM3 comes around and knocks his boy's ass out. But regardless, Bruno Silva, give me a late second round KO. That's what I'm going with. Let's keep moving down. Bantamweight division. Farid Basharat taking on Victor Hugo. Not gonna lie, this is a very, very close matchup. Farid, you know, he doesn't have the most power in his bantamweight division, but he is extremely well-rounded and pretty much he can do it all. Let's be realistic here. He's very patient. You know, he's one of these patient fighters where he's looking for Victor Hugo to overthrow so he can land his shots here and there. But Victor Hugo, he's good on the feet. He's pretty strong on the feet, I'm not gonna lie, with a good ground game, good power, pretty well-rounded. But I just think Farid Basharat is better pretty much everywhere except for, you know, the power aspect. Give me Farid Basharat by a decision. I don't think there's gonna be a finish in this fight, but I do think this is gonna be a close fight. 29-28. I could even see a 29-28 split decision. I think this is gonna be a stupidly close fight, but I'm going to Farid Basharat. You also have to remember where we are. Where are these fights taking place, and who do they want to win? Give me Basharat by a 29-28 split decision. Heavyweight division, Kennedy Nezinchukwu taking on Justin Tafa. Now, I don't know if like these fights got mixed around, because I do see people saying Chris Barnett is coming here instead of Justin Tafa, but the UFC hasn't updated their shit since I've been recording this, so I'm just saying Justin Tafa is still fighting. I don't know, maybe he's out and Barnett is in, but from what I see on their website, this is who's here. So Kennedy, this boy, he does have a questionable chin, and he's moving up to heavyweight from light heavyweight. Doesn't have the most volume in the world, but he does have some good power and will mix things up. He'll go for it here. He won't just stand and bang like Justin Tafa. Justin Tafa is a one-trick pony. He will easily get out-grappled, and I think the light heavyweight skill is going to show in this fight. I think Kennedy's going to win a pretty easy but boring decision win. The only thing is, he doesn't have the best chin in the world, and he's moving up to heavyweight, and he's fighting someone like a Justin Tafa, who is known to have some pretty heavy hands here. But I'm going Kennedy, 30-27, decision win, grapple heavy game plan, going to gas out Justin Tafa, and yeah, I think it's going to be a boring heavyweight fight. Let's go down middleweight division. Abus taking on Bruno Ferreira, another close matchup here, to be honest. Another matchup that either one of these guys could win. Abus, questionable cardio. We know he has some questionable cardio here. He got so gassed out from fighting Strickland that Strickland actually TKO'd this boy, but he has a good clinch control game. He pretty much has a very strong, good 4 minutes until he gasses out. Bruno Ferreira has that dog in him, has no quit inside him. He's a finisher. He goes for the finish. He's fairly well-rounded, good power, but he's also short for this division. Also has a questionable cardio, just like Abus. Now, this is what you're either going with. You're going with Bruno Ferreira being able to KO Abus in the round and a half, or you're going with Abus being able to, not get knocked out the first round, win the second and third. Now, both these guys, questionable cardios. If it does go to the decision, they're giving it to Abus. Do I think Bruno Ferreira can knock out Abus? I 100% do. They both have bad cardio. I'm going with Abus. Again, 50-50 type matchup. If it goes to the decision, we know who they want to win. Give me Abus by a 29-28 decision. I could see Bruno Ferreira winning the first round. Let's go down bantamweight divisions. Magomedov taking on Daniel Santos. Now, he is a very dynamic and dangerous striker with a pretty dangerous ground submission game as well. Daniel Santos, he's well-rounded. He has a very good aggressive Muay Thai style, but he's good. I'll give him that. He is good, but he's just not good enough to beat the top guys in bantamweight. Where Nurmagomedov, I think he's just better everywhere. I think this is a step down in competition for Saeed, to be honest. Where Daniel Santos, I think, is a big step up in competition. And yeah, I just think Saeed is better everywhere. 30-27 decision win for Saeed. Let's go down lightweight division. Matuis Rembeki taking on our favorite Ooga Booga man himself, Myktybek. You guys know I'm high on Myktybek Orolbai. This boy, a good jab, good wrestling, good cardio. He has that caveman power, but he does struggle with, pressures. What I have seen recently where Becky, this boy has T-Rex arms. Let's be realistic. His reach, 0. His wingspan, non-existent. He's fairly well-rounded, but better on the ground game. He goes non-stop takedown after takedown. He has pretty bad cardio as well. Let's be realistic, He's also small for this division and can melt under pressure. We're going with Orolbai. Orolbai I can see being a top 15 fighter, where Becky, I don't see him being a top 15. Orolbai I could see being a title contender. I'm going Orolbai by do I go all 3 rounds? That's the question here. Honestly, I think 29-28. I'll be generous and do 29-28 decision win for Myktybek Orolbai. Let's go down to the main event of these prelims, welterweight division. Geoff Neal taking on RDA. This is very simple and sweet. I'll get to the point super fast. RDA is 40 years old. Yes, he is pretty well-rounded. He has good combos, but he's 40 years old. Geoff Neal, good cardio, good boxing, good control time. He can be boring at times by just holding you up against the cage. But RDA is 40 years old. If Geoff Neal can keep it on the feet, which I think he can, I think he's knocking out RDA, to be honest. Give me second round KO win for Geoff Neal. Let's get into this main card now. Middleweight division. Shara Bullet taking on Armen Petrosyan. Now, Shara, he almost has no power in this middleweight division, which is insane, but good output, good combos, very, very fast and dynamic. He doesn't have the best head movement though. Let's be realistic. He's a good fighter, but I think I just think he was way overhyped coming into the UFC. He's a good fighter, but people are saying this guy's like the next coming of Jesus or something like that. But he's overhyped. He's not that good. Not to the level where people were saying he is. Armen Petrosyan, I think he's just slightly worse than Shara, to be honest. But I think when we see skill levels, this is the level that Shara Bullet's at. I don't think he's gonna get much higher than the Armen Petrosyan level, to be honest. You know, he'll go up in the rankings, but I think I don't see him doing much better after this, because I think this is a 50-50 type of matchup. If it's 50-50 and they go to the decision, which I think it's going to be, they're giving it to Shara. Give me 29-28. Honestly, give me 30-27 robbery decision for Shara. That's what I'm predicting right now. Light heavyweight division, Magomed Ankalaev versus Aleksandar Rakić. Now, Magomed, fuck Magomed. All my homies hate Magomed. You already know, but this boy, he's very well-rounded. He has good defense, good kicks. He has underrated timing with his combos, I'm not going to lie. But again, he's pretty fast. He's well-rounded. Rakić, on the other hand, also very well-rounded. Good power, good pressure, good ground game. You look at his record and you see, okay, yeah, he has some losses to him, but he was never being dominated. He was never out of the fight. He's 100% could win this fight. Let's be realistic. There's a chance Magomed goes out here and gets... I could see Alex catching Magomed, you know? Rakić can 100% catch Magomed. He could even beat him on the scorecards, but Magomed, I think it's already written. You know, the MMA gods have spoken. I think Magomed goes out here, gets a 29-28 decision win. I don't think it'll be split. I think decision win. He'll fight Alex Pereira next. It's already written in the stars. Unfortunately, Magomed's going to go out here, beat Rakić, but it's a close-ass fight. Don't get it twisted. Either one of these fighters could win, and it's pretty much... the whole main card is pretty much nothing but that. Let's go down. Featherweight division. Lerone Murphy taking on Dan Ige. Now, Murphy, he's good at using his range, but he'll also mix things up. You know, he'll go for takedowns if needed. He has a really, really good, strong jab. And, you know, it shows he's a real deal after he fought Barboza and gave Barboza multiple 10-8 rounds. And I know you're probably thinking, yeah, but that's like old Barboza, out of his prime Barboza, but still, even if it was slightly out of the prime Barboza, multiple 10-8 rounds is crazy. And yeah, I just think it showed that he's the real deal. But Dan Ige, a very durable fighter with good ass cardio, has that dog in him. We saw him 2-minute notice. Dan Ige, decent grappling, nothing amazing, but decent grappling. He's fought the who's. He's fought everyone in this division. And, you know, the featherweight division is a pretty stacked division, and he's never been blown out of the water in any fights. He's always been super competitive. And like I said, 50-50 type of matchup. Any one of these guys could win, but I'm slightly going on the Lerone Murphy side just because he's more of a prospect. He's younger in this game. Something's telling me Lerone Murphy. I want to pick Dan Ige, you know, I really do, but I think Murphy just gets it done, you know. First and second round, maybe Dan Ige gets the last round showing good heart. Everyone's cheering for Dan Ige because he comes back and shows huge heart. I could see something like that happen. 29-28 for Murphy. Let's keep moving down to the co-main event. Middleweight division, Robert Whittaker taking on Chimaev. I have been going back and forth on this fight and the main event for weeks now, honestly, but as we get closer and closer, I have no idea who's gonna win this fight. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is gonna sound so fucking nerdy, but I had a fucking dream of these two guys fighting. Pause. Ayo, I got a wife, chill. But that sounded mad, but I had a dream these guys are fighting, and Chimaev catches Whittaker, makes him do the chicken dance, and while Chimaev is sprinting at Whittaker to finish Whittaker, Whittaker lands the nastiest uppercut you've ever seen and puts Chimaev out cold. Now, do I know if that was like the MMA gods trying to tell me something? I don't know, but do we need to go over these guys? You know, Robert Whittaker, this is a 5-rounder. It changes everything pretty much. You know, Robert Whittaker, pretty well rounded, good explosive fighter, underrated takedown defense, but do I think he's going to make Chimaev work for takedowns? 100% he's going to make him work to get these takedowns. He's had 2 training camps for Chimaev himself. So if you don't think Robert Whittaker's takedown defense hasn't gone up tremendously, you're smoking crack. He has more tools in his arsenal to beat someone like Chimaev on the feet, but he does have a questionable chin. It's a reality that we have to face. He has a questionable chin where Chimaev might be the best Sambo fighter in the entire world for the first round. And at the end of the day, he's never ran through anyone in the top of any division ever. You know, it's always these lower ranked guys. He's never ran through the top of the division. But, you know, I have seen he's with a different coach, a better coach who isn't overtraining him 24/7, which causes him to get sick and sent to the hospital. So he's training better now. The first 2 rounds, I think his first 2 rounds are bust for Chimaev. I think he's stronger than Robert Whittaker. You know, boxing and wrestling, I think he has a stronger hands. And again, I don't fucking know. I have no idea. Do I go with the dream I had of Robert Whittaker sleeping Chimaev? Or do I go with what I think is going to happen and Chimaev first round submission? I don't know. I'm going first round submission. You know, I have no idea. It's a flip-flop. I've been going back and forth. If it gets to the later rounds, I could see Chimaev getting finished by Robert Whittaker. But, you know, first round is so dangerous for Robert Whittaker. And, you know, we saw him get, like, pretty much ragdolled by DDP. I think Chimaev can do the same thing. I have no idea. Fuck it. First round submission for Chimaev. Let's go down to this featherweight division. Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway. Again, do I need to break this shit down for you? Do I need to go like Ilia Topuria, very durable, hard to hit, hard to hurt? Once he gets his timing right, this boy is overpowered. You know, he's OP. He needs to be nerfed. But is he faster than Max Holloway? Maybe. But he has an unknown cardio tank. We haven't seen him go 5 rounds with someone like a Max Holloway. He's always moving his head. He's never staying still. He's also very, very young to be a champion, where Max Holloway, he's coming into his prime. You know, he struggles with shorter fighters as well. But also, I looked at some of Ilia Topuria's past fighters, and the one guy he had troubles with, the one guy that dropped him, is a long, rangy guy, and he dropped Ilia Topuria. So I don't know what that says. I think, you know, Max Holloway's gonna have the better output. I think he's gonna have decent defense. You know, he can get caught 100% if he's not locked in. He has been caught before, you know, but he has insane like recoverability. He got dropped by Justin Gaethje. Don't forget that he got dropped by Justin Gaethje, but sprung back up like nothing even happened. Coverability, insane. He also has good takedown defense. If Ilia Topuria wants to take him to the ground, I've been going back and forth, and at first I was like, yeah, if Ilia Topuria wants to, he can take down Max Holloway whenever he wants. I don't necessarily think that anymore. He has a better cardio, Max Holloway, as well, and he has more experience going 5 rounders. He has more experience in general. I think we're gonna see a 4th, 5th round, Ilia Topuria looking very, very tired. TKO Max Holloway, 4th or 5th round. Final prediction, rare prediction, lock that shit in. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it can go back and forth. At the end of the day, do you think Max Holloway is going to get knocked out? We've been saying this time and time again. We're like, yeah, Justin Gaethje's flatline Max Holloway. Look what happened. You know, we go back and forth. Like, at this point, maybe the MMA gods just love Max Holloway and he'll go down as a fighter who never got finished. Watch, 308's going to happen and Max Holloway's going to get knocked out just because I cursed him, but yeah, those are my predictions. Let me know in the comments below, which of these fights are you most excited for? Also, quickly look at this shit real quick. 99% of you guys watch this shit for free, when, to be honest, if you watch the end of this video, you might as well subscribe with those post notifications turned on. Help your boy out get to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, guys, there's really not that much else left to say, except for I will see you guys in my next video.